back. Sorry about that break. Needed to handle business. This is from Camille. This is hello, Dr. Morse. First of all, I must say that I'm a French, so my English isn't perfect at all. I'm American, and my English ain't perfect. My ain't perfect. Yeah, don't worry about that. It isn't the verbalage. It's the energy and consciousness behind the verbalage that matters. Yet, I hope that the core of my message will be easily understandable. I do my best anyway. I'm sure you do, sweetheart. Actually, currently, I'm learning English. What a beautiful language. So, since my childhood, I would say about 7 or 8 years old, I have a pathology which is deeply constraining, deeply insupportable, deeply sorrowful, and so on. Wow. Those are deep words. Yeah. Adjectives abound to describe this burden. That pathology is stuttering or stammering, but it seems the word stuttering is the most used word. The word stuttering. Did you see the case of Arnold Ehret and the stuttering case, where he put him on a grape fast, and they were walking down the beach, and the guy started choking, coughed up a big, huge wad of mucus, and didn't stutter from that point on. It really, when you start looking at those type of cases, and you start real like sore throats, and you start realizing that when you build mucus up in the throat, it gets sore. Spit the mucus out and the sore throat goes away. Interesting, huh? So when you start looking at these things, you start realizing that we've been lied to. And maybe unconsciously, okay, but nevertheless, these type of unconscious endeavors have entrapped man for several hundred years and brought his health down to nothing. So it's these sort of things can be, interesting. Actually, this disorder makes me shy, whereas in truth, I'm not necessarily a shy person. Oh, I get it, you're stuttering. This disorder makes me loose and self-confident as well. Well, I'm sure it does. But don't let anything like this on any of you guys bring you down or think less about yourselves. These are genetics, and these are weaknesses that man have developed within himself, and toxicity levels and mucus levels that have developed within people to areas where, we're in the degenerative zone. We're calling degeneration cancer now, just to be nice about it, but it's degeneration. And when you get to the point of degeneration, cells are done, and then when you start working at the genetics and you see all these cells moving that direction, that's when you have to realize we're in serious trouble. And especially when you see these genetics at the levels they are, even when children are born in the chronic levels, or when a fetus is born with a cancer cell in it, you're talking a very advanced state of kidney problems, adrenal problems, lymphatic stagnation. You're looking at serious stuff. So it does take us a little time to unwind these things and work them out, but we can. That's the thing. It's all doable. And the thing with the stuttering, and now I get it. You stutter, but I guess it's no accident I told you about Arnold Ehret and his case. I've never had a case of stuttering like that, but I've had a case of everything from tics to everything else that corrected themselves. And I've always wanted to see about a case of stuttering since he won that case. This goes way back, and I'm sure there's others that won that. I'm curious to see. Of course, you would definitely want to line everything up. You make sure your spine, everything's lined up, move lymph, everything else, get the brain and nerves moving and functioning properly, but also get in and move that out. And how interesting that that this guy choked up a big wad of mucus and no more stuttering. I was blown away, and I wasn't even a practitioner reading that. I'm going, that's pretty cool. It's all about what can we do with what we know to be true. And it's pretty amazing what you can do, your body can do with this. Now, it's a domino. Let me see, let's go up here. This disorder makes me shy. Let's see, it's the domino effect. Stuttering triggers lack of self-confidence, shyness, timidity, social. Oh, yeah, I understand that. An important note is that my cousin also, interesting, also stutters. So genetics is certainly involved, in my opinion. Yep. But it's not a fatality as we know. Absolutely. And again, I've always said if one human can do it, we can all do it. We might be at different levels genetically in terms of weaknesses and strengths, but if one of us can do it, we all can do it. So that brings up an interesting question that I have for you guys. Can you grow a third set of teeth? Has it been done before? Absolutely, been done before. Many times. So, that's interesting thought. So, what kind of issues would suspend or terminate that ability of the human body to generate a third set of teeth? Because if one human can do it, and we've had several do it. So it's interesting to me that and one is weird as all get out, and it has nothing to do with the health of the human body. These were two guys sitting on a porch back in the woods of a log cabin, and this UFO had landed or something. This big light came down, and it just shined a big light on those two guys. And I forget all the things they were talking about they went through with this, but the one guy said, I grew a third set of teeth from it. So I don't know. I mean, these things are, I don't know. I read about these things, I listen to the news, and pretty cool and fascinating. I think man is so much in the negative side of life now that he's got to start acting positive in the things that we can do and accomplish. We know where we're at. We know what got us here. So let's turn it around and start changing things. But that's hard for humans stuck in thought, stuck in the mind. And you guys are learning how to step back out of that and look around a little bit without thought, and that puts you way out there. Because until you do that, you're lost, you're trapped, you have no idea what truth is. You're just bumping from one conditioned state of thinking to another. That's all you're doing. Of course, I'm well informed. I watched all your videos, those translated in French. Incidentally, I plan to work as a naturopath hygienist. So the business of the disease and the war against symptoms sound familiar to me, don't they, though? Unfortunately, money rules the world. But, listen, you don't need a lot of money. That's why I'm doing these videos for you guys. You don't need a lot of money to become a healer. Matter of fact, I'm educating you as much as I possibly can of what I know and what I'm learning, what our other counselors are learning, what we're seeing. We're just sharing with you. There's no bumps or anything like that. We're just sharing with because we all want to get on the same page. I'm hell-bent on creating a new modality that will be respected by all, that people can sink their teeth into and get their remedies, and based upon science. People can holler pseudo all they want. Those are the pseudoscientists. Real science shows you can get someone out of a wheelchair and regenerate them. Pseudoscience is up to nothing we can do. So which side is into real science and which side is into pseudoscience? It's pseudoscience when you spout off things and you can't cure or do anything about anything. It's all autoimmune, it's all this, it's all that. That's pseudoscience. Real science cures and heals people and regenerates tissue and everything else. It gives you an understanding of how life works. Not theories. Not theories. We've had enough theory. So, you know what I'm going to say? Get up on these grape fasts, get up on the fruits, berries, and melons, and honk on with this. I would do upper circuit brain and nerve, but I'd go right into the protocols. Get the kidneys cleaned out, get them filtering, get the adrenals up to do that, of course. Look at your parathyroid glands, make sure you're utilizing calcium properly. You make sure that everything in your body is healthy. And then the cleaning. And so I've experienced many sore throats from eating wrong and getting mucus in the throat. So I have to believe and accept Arnold Ehret's experience on this, because he was a good, great guy, you know, and he was kind of like us. He just told the truth, just what it is. He's about helping others. So I think that I personally would head off that way, because I don't think there's anything that you can bring to the table here that I'm not going to say that with. Because I firmly believe that and I hate to use the word believe because I've seen it, I like the word knowing. And I for myself, I know 2,000% where this level of understanding can take you. And it's amazing, isn't it? Some of you are just amazing what you've accomplished for yourselves. I'm just so proud of each and every one of you. You're just so great. But there's a lot to work to do out there. It seems like a lot of sick people, you know. Okay, so however, let me see here. I really hope that you will answer my message, because stuttering is unknown. I mean, only a few people speak of this trouble. This is true. Very true. And I have not done anything on that myself either, because these other cases stand out, you know, like a sore thumb, even worse. So apologize about that, honey, but you're right. But you want to keep pushing yourself deeper to that world of health. And I'd be curious to your experiences going through this relationship to stuttering, and how you see that taking place as you go deeper into the world of detox. We'd love you to keep us up on that, okay? However, it is comprehensible, because this trouble affects very few people, about 1% of the population, therefore the disease. I would scratch off disease. You know, I scratch off disease. You know, we got to start scratching off diseases. I've done that years and years and years ago. Even though the state kept trying to come after me for treating diseases, it's like, you got to come up with something else, boys, because I don't do that. There's plenty of evidence. So if you want to get me in jail, you want to stop me from practicing, you got to come up with something better than that. Therefore, the disease, no. The toxicity and whatever suppression you have with that neurologically has not been thoroughly studied yet. Doesn't have to be. So I need to see you overcome this. But you're going to have to you have to follow the honor error way. Now, he didn't use herbs and we do. So that accelerates the time factors. You know, when you just do raw foods as a detox, and you're talking about fruits, berries, and melons as detox, because if you're just doing food only detox, you do not want to mess with vegetables, or you'll be sitting there at a plateau going, well, it didn't do anything for me. But so, how to heal from stuttering is clean and restore the function of cells. And I'm going to say that with every condition there is, because if you think about it logically, common sensely, which is awareness, what is bringing the body down? Chemistry and physics. Physics is the study of energy. Let's just say that as a basic overview. So your energy levels and your chemical ingestion is what's bringing you down. If you blame anything else, that builds the fear, that builds the unknowingness, that builds up the elitist group, and still builds the unknown. So people live totally with their conditions, accepting the fact that nothing can be done, and we're into regeneration. So in my opinion, if you get up, if you have a neurological suppression, or you have mucus affecting that and the voice and all that, has to come out. And how interesting would it be if that's all it is? Because we've seen that case, and I'm sure there's been other cases. Can you imagine if that's all it is? You just have to clean the mucus out of your throat, out of your larynx and everything else. Maybe make sure your C-spine is straight, your axis is on, everything is good that way. Be interesting. I've always wondered, because I never have forgotten that case. And I know several people that stutter. There was a guy on, he was a singer. When he sung, he didn't stutter. He was America's Got Talent. No, American Idol. And I just thought, man, I would love to work on him. I would love to work on him and see if we can get that out of him, because I know we can. So what do you think, Dr. Morse or Mr. Morse? I do think we can get that out of you, my dear. You can get it out of yourself. Get on, tear it up, get into the fruits, berries, and melons. I can't remember which Arnold book that was in, but read a couple of these books. They're small. Mucus Diet Healing System, Rational Fasting, and see which book that was in, and see if there's any other, because it's been years and years and years since I read his book. Been 40 years since I've read Arnold Ehret's book. How to Heal from Stuttering. For me, from what I see, mucus, like sore throats and everything else, mucus is always, you notice that mucus is always involved in almost everything. Tumors, lung cancers, but every cancer they name, mucus is always involved with it. So we know mucus is from the mucosa. We know mucus is part of the lymphatic system and how the mucus is produced to protect against acid damage. So when you start looking at all this and start realizing all this, it starts to make sense. So you could be congested in an area that affects the nerve flow or whatever to the larynx and voice box, who knows? Like you said, not a lot of research on it, but people have cured themselves of it, so that's fascinating. And I want to see what you can do with it. We all want to see what you can do with it, don't we, guys? Yep. Oh, and I promise I'll try an out-of-body experience. At the moment, I read Rudolf Steiner. So interesting. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you, sweetheart, Camille, and thank you so much. I'm interested to see what you can gain. You know, a lot of you guys are on the groundbreaking floors, and you're going to be setting a precedent because Arnold Ehret passed fairly quickly. We have such a team that don't matter what happened to me, you guys are going to carry this on, baby. So that's why I've been doing this, because they can't stop us now. The negative forces, they can think they're so powerful, but we are more. And so we will stabilize this, and you guys are part of that key of stabilizing the higher awareness on this planet. So dig in, and you're proving to the world what's going on here at these levels. Arnold Ehret proved a lot of things. He did a lot of things with people, and just cool things. Jensen did, and he wasn't even a vitalist, Jensen did. So I was always amazed at Jensen's work, considering he wasn't a raw foodist. But he had all his raw food friends. N.W. Walker was a good friend of Doc's. Died at 107, he told me. He said, I didn't see him for the last 10 years of his life, though. And they were good buddies. Melanie, can a raw food diet help eliminate stretch marks? Absolutely. Matter of fact, you notice the more acidic you are, the worse the stretch marks. And not only just stretch marks, scarring. Just say you accidentally rip your skin. The more acidic you are, remember, the more pain, the more swelling, and the potential for scarring. But understand what scarring is. The same thing with fracture of bones. And so it's just the body trying to protect itself. The body always seeks strength. Nature always seeks strength, get rid of the weaknesses. And we have to remember that, because nature's always trying to attack and eliminate the weaknesses. Well, don't feel bad when your body's trying to get rid of those cells that are weak in it. The problem is the highways are blocked. But yeah, Melanie, definitely. You could use the grapeseed oils and all that stuff on that to get under the skin, but I'll tell you the honest truth. You just get into the body and get it in the alkaline states, and you will see a lot of changes to the body you'll like. I would also point this one out. So I'm going to ask you guys first. What other gland might I want to think about when I'm talking about the regeneration of tissue? Parathyroid gland, because when you're looking at strengthening, and mostly you're looking at connective tissue issues, skeletal issues, and things like this, not just tissues, not just basic tissues. So there's a matrix involved. So always calcium is a big component, and a big component of nerve transmission. It was said sometimes the body is 96% type calcium in terms of minerals and stuff. I don't know about that. I know it's enough to say, because I don't trust research anymore. There's so much bogus stuff out there and so much claims that I'm pulling back from that. I only want to know what's true, what works, because there's so many claims, and most of them I've already experienced and are not true. Through all my years, I've tried literally everything out there. MSMs, beta-glucans, you go right on down the line. Right on down the line, I've done them all. I've not done urine, stool. There's no way. I would never recommend anything like that. But you want to work on that and strengthen, tone and strengthen, and your body will tone and strengthen. That's what's cool about regenerative detoxification, because as you clean, your body strengthens. But it would, because you're working on the proper side of chemistry. We've been digging and eating into the acid side of chemistry. Is it any wonder the blowback is acidic? Of course it's no wonder. It's obvious. So once we understand that, we change that, then everything rights itself. How beautiful that is the ability of nature to right itself. Big time. Thanks for the question. I love the question on stuttering too, because these are some things we need to address for sure. This is Bessie Smith. Need to know what help is available for, well, I've never even heard of this, korsarkoff. Korsarkoff syndrome. I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. I only know so much medical stuff. You know, even though I spent about 5 years in hospitals and mostly around cardiopulmonary work. So when it comes to the heart, I had a lot of schooling and passed national boards with that. The heart, rhythms, meds, all that I know. I have my advanced life support trainings, my ACLS, I have all that. IV therapies, I have all of that. But getting into diseases and stuff, I didn't study much of that in naturopathy, nor do I have come across this one, so I apologize for that one for you. My friend has been off alcohol for 9 years with continued symptoms of seizures. He is 58 years old. Please ask Dr. Morse to address it on YouTube. Thank you. All right, so we're getting into this. It's an alcoholic with seizures, huh? When you look at seizures, you want to look at a couple of things. Being an alcoholic, this person is probably extremely acidic, and it's possible instead of the cholesterol areas, you've seen the calcium areas with this person. So if you deplete your calcium levels to a point, you'll start cramping and then seizing. You can seize with low manganese and magnesium as well, but calcium is a big component. And so you notice when you're low in calcium, you can get Charlie horses, and you can cramp up. None of that's fun. But there, so I'll be thinking parathyroid gland, make sure I'd be doing maybe some superfood blends just to bring in some of that, and then detoxing, going after that. Because when you detox, and of course you're going to in detox, you're going after liver, gallbladder, and you're going after these, all these residues and all these type of on a finer side, the astral component to a cell, the addictive side. And that's an emotional component as well. So there's that side of a cell as well. So by getting oneself healthy, not only, believe this or not, and I know some of you might think I'm a wacko, but not only are you getting your physical body health, you're getting your emotional body healthy. Notice how a lot of you are strengthening emotionally. Some of you have been telling me I used to cry at the drop of a hat and now I'm strong. That's the ticket. So that's strengthening your emotional. That's not a physical experience. That's an emotional experience. That's not a physical world phenomena. This is an astral phenomena. See how close it's related? You almost can't tell the difference. And so forth, then to the mind worlds. So you guys are doing really, really well. But as you get these people healthy and detox, it's reverbing back into the other bodies and affecting them in a positive manner because you're eating energetically. Remember we talked about that. I don't know if you've seen that video I did yesterday and then maybe the one before, but I talked a lot about the energy and the consciousness of the food. What is it you're eating exactly? Let's set the chemistry to the side. What are you actually eating? And then who formed the chemistry? So understanding how it has created creation and how creation works a little bit, as much as we know, helps you so much in your survival, in your journey, but also in your bodies, getting them healthy. So detoxing your body for alcoholics and anything, even weed, anything, helps with any of these things. It's going to be the way especially when you get into the hard stuff, the mess and all that. These are seriously serious stuff here, and these are serious acids. You know, have you ever seen meth? You can lose your whole teeth. And see, so all of this, when you're that acidic, you're going to lose calcium, and seizures could be the word of the day. So here's the thing. With this friend of yours, this alcoholic, or if he's over that or whatever, get him on the raw foods. Even if he's still drinking, who cares? Don't keep telling him to stop drinking. Because when you tell yourself to stop drinking, you're reaffirming the fact that you're a drinker. It actually has the reverse effect. So, change your viewpoint. So he has to change his viewpoint from a recovering alcoholic, or one that is an alcoholic, to, listen, I'm going to get my health together. My focus has changed. My focus is now on the health of my body. I drink, okay. Change your focus. Let that work itself out of him. Because you know, all of us know that telling someone to quit smoking, coming to tell them to quit drinking, rarely works. It is the individual, and it has to be the right time, and I get it, I quit. And boom, they quit right overnight after 20, 30 years, because they get it finally. It's bam, it's done. So by detoxifying and regenerating these people, they'll help their livers, gallbladders, pancreases, bowels, all the things that'll put calcium back. So on this case in particular, what would the first thing you want to do? He's seizing, so he's probably on some seizure meds, Dilantin or something, but for our part of that, you want to get on the antispasmodic. That's an herbal formula for seizures and spasm and things like that. And the dosage is going to be about the same, although you could do a half a dropper full under the tongue every hour if you had to for seizures. But if you take it with your regimen, with your detox program, it'll keep the seizures down. I'm already going after brain and nerve. I'm already going after upper circ. When I see seizures, I'm going after... You know, so looking at that, remember that parathyroid for seizures, calcium, things, cramping, things like this. But also remember, Mr. Pituitary could have a little bit of an influence on Mr. or Mrs. parathyroid gland. And that's how I would approach that one. Talia. Talia? Hi, Dr. Morse. Hi, sweetheart. So grateful for your help. Anytime, honey. Anytime. I love to help people. That's my nature. It's fun for everybody to figure. I love having friends and people having good times, even though I'm a loner. I do. I live very much alone, but I still like good people and good friends. It's always nice to meet a human and get a big hug from them. I have excessive sweating. Okay, immediately, guys. And those of you, and I've talked about this in other videos, when you have excessive sweating, what is that telling you? And thank God for that. I'll have to tell you that. Thank God for excessive sweating, because if you didn't, you'd be in so much more trouble. Okay, so excessive sweating automatically turns your attention to the kidneys. You don't want to turn your attention to the thyroid gland. You want to turn your attention to the kidneys, because your body does some things to make up for, or to, what's the word I'm looking for, to compensate for what isn't being done in another area. When the kidneys aren't filtering anymore, your body has to have a battle plan, because now you're in trouble, big trouble. Systemic acids are not being eliminated out of the two main kidneys, or three or one, depends. But where's the largest kidney? Largest kidney. So when the thyroid's down, that kidney's down. But if you're sweating too much, perfect. Get your kidneys filtering. And when you're going down that process of getting the kidneys and the adrenals and everything working, all that sweating will start coming down, 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 and everything will balance out and you'll be good. If you try, I remember medical doctors that even cut the sweat glands and do all kinds of stupid things. Some lady was telling me she had all kinds of pathways cut because she just sweat so profusely. And I think, did you ever think about just making your physical body healthy? And that'll take care of all of that, and it does. Yeah, and that's the problem. We're so conditioned to think diseases that even oversweating is a disease. It's like, what? That's the game. These guys aren't stupid. Remember, they're your high intellectuals, your narcissistic elitists. Even medical doctors are trapped. They don't even realize what's going on. They're being used like pawns. I feel sorry for a lot of medical doctors because they have no clue they're being used. being used big time. And you got to understand what else is going on in the world and in the galaxies. There's a lot. There's a lot. Isn't it we little people on planet Earth? Who ever thought that in the first place, when you can go back to Egyptians and see all kinds of visitors? I might have an abnormal sympathetic response. Yeah, but if you do, why? You also could be you're compensating in one area for a lack in another area too. And you don't want to go in the body and say, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to control this. That's a wrong way to think. But that's what medical doctors think. No. You got to respect nature and the body, the design, and who built it, and the fact that there's foods for it and everything else for it. Instead of getting with the folk, with nature, and the creator who created that. Not separate yourself in some elitist field that you believe in raindrops falling on who knows what. I sweat if I'm excited, laughing, nervous. Yeah, but fix your adrenals. That's your autonomic. Fix your kidneys, get your kidneys filtering, and believe it or not, this will all come down. This will all come down, sweetheart. Perhaps excessive work of my adrenals. I love you guys because now you guys are correlating the right tissues with the right places. You guys are getting so smart. Yeah. My adrenals have stolen my progesterone reservoir, causing my irregular menstruation of 40 plus days. All right. Now, sweetheart, let's back up a little bit. Let's think pituitary. If you're looking at lower progesterone, higher estrogen levels, who's controlling that? The pituitary, my dear one. The pituitary. And the pituitary could be hyperstimulating the thyroid or other tissues to make you excessive sweating as well. So you have two ways to look at that. But still go to the adrenals and the kidneys and start working with them because you got to fix the pituitary, right? So no matter what, you got to always go and fix the body properly. When you understand properly, like you guys do, then you know how to go in, detoxify the body, take care of the kidneys, take care of the adrenals, get the GI tract cleaned up. That is proper and advanced thinking and understanding. Your progesterone levels will come up to balance, but work on your pituitary. Look at your other things, because if you have pituitary weakness, which is 99.999% is what's going on with these symptoms here, and that of course affects progesterone and estrogen. Ovarian, ovarian, not adrenal. So you have to understand that you've got estrogen and progesterone not only ovarian-wise, but in the adrenal glands. And then you've got two other estrogens in the body, liver, fat cell. So you've got, progesterone and estrogen in the ovaries. Why would you then have it in the adrenals? Because it's a closed house. Ovarian estrogen progesterone for the uteri. Adrenal estrogen progesterone, systemic. And you see that when you have a hysterectomy and you run low estrogen. Because when a woman has a hysterectomy, let's say she had aggressive estrogen, that'd be the pituitary. Instead of fixing the pituitary, they cut the woman's innards out. Well, then if she has low estrogen in the adrenal gland, she gets vaginal dryness, and now she can't have intercourse because it's painful. Sound familiar for some of you ladies? Absolutely. Common. And so you have to go on black cohosh or something to bring up the estrogen levels. I use the black cohosh. Works every time, works real good. But you want to fix this. And look at here, she also has POTS. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Meaning that your kidneys aren't filtering, honey. That's exactly, all these symptoms start showing more and more, picking those little heads of those kidneys up saying, it's me, I'm not filtering, I'm the ones. But the adrenals are also involved. Don't forget, my friends, the adrenals. Yep. But you want to fix this up. Woman, how old are you? But you want to fix this up and get your periods, get everything nice. It wouldn't hurt with all this going on. I would douche. I would douche with the Hill tea 2 weeks, one time a night. I mean, we tried to show you some of the stuff. Jennifer, I'm a young woman at 20-some, she douched with that, following that course, and the stuff she got out at 20-some years old. So ladies, clean, no matter what you've been told. I made this tea for you guys, and it converts any atypical cells right back. Beautiful. She has menstrual pain and hairlessness. Well, that's scary because that means, now I don't know if that's top or bottom. If that's the top, that's, again, where you have no hair, you're too acidic. And of course, that's up, if it's up here, it's up where the pituitary is. You see how all this is linked together? Yeah, yeah. So you want to do caution to the wind, sweetheart, because Alzheimer's, dementia, you know, when you start messing with the head, the CNS, the central nervous system, nothing really good comes out of that one. Tell you the honest truth, that's like messing with your hard drive. Not good. I am vegan, eat a lot of beans, nope. Starch, nope. Grains, nope. Maybe acidifying my body. Talia, you're a smart woman, honey. You're right on, sweetie. You're right on. You know, I tell you, you guys are impressing me more and more. I'm telling you guys are something else. She gets this right here. Her diet is acidifying her body. She's on grains, starch, which is grains, and beans. Very acidic. Yep, you're acidifying your body, honey. And your lymph is backing up, so that's what you don't want to back up. Such a pain in the butt to clean it. I have little or no thirst. Wow, don't exercise, and I am of healthy weight. Yeah, get in and clean yourself out. Get your kidneys filtering, you know, get everything turned on and get your pituitary straightened around. You want your menses regular, on time, every time. And remember, bleeding, we don't want painful menses, we don't want heavy bleeding menses, and we don't want odorous menses. We want nice, clean, spotty, and that means your uteri is clean. And it's the same for us guys with prostates. You know? This is Doug. Hey, Doug. Dear Dr. Morse, I had two quick cues regarding herbal formulas. Are the new glycerin tinctures better than the alcohol ones? The alcohol ones get it to the cell quicker, for sure. There's no question. Glycerin has to be metabolized. Remember I was telling you that in a seizure case, a really sad seizure case, these parents are just buying by the boxes trying to control this girl's seizures. They did get them way down, and it was very difficult for me to explain to them how bad this poor girl's lymph system was. I've had a fair amount of dairy farmers in my world, their eyes, and going over them, both Amish and none. And you know, a dairy farmer's eyes is just what it is. I think I've shown you one. I show you at school, of course, a dairy farmer's eyes and what the lymph system looks like. This poor girl, her system was even worse. Her eye was thick white with lymph stagnation. You can't stop seizures until you dig through some of that. It's just so acidic that it just, you know, it takes a long time to hydrate that level. And that's the problem. If it was a little milk or this once in a while and we have a little bit of mucus buildup, it's one thing. But when you're systemically impacted, don't get upset when it takes a few years to unpack. You can't help it. It's just the way we have not been told anything. And of course the Dairymen's Association is not going to tell you, and they know it causes mucus. Come on, that's been a complaint for eons of time. You still buy the milk, knowing that it's tumor forming, it's mass forming, it's you know, it's all the things. In an old video you mentioned alcohol absorbs herbs better than glycerin. Absolutely. Plus, so in an antispasmodic tincture of glycerin, it takes about 20 minutes to stop the seizure, where the alcohol was only about 10 minutes or less. So I see the alcohol is through the system quicker. It's already on that stage of decay, you know, when we're looking at how chemistry goes down toward the atoms again. And the alcohol is just one of those ways down, you know, but they're all acidic. I mean, you know, as good, healthy, ripe, alkaline foods start to deteriorate, everything goes down to that acid side. But I have a hard time taking alcohol myself, and we're using sugarcane alcohol. But it's hard on me. So I like the glycerins, but and they're 1 to 4s. So go out to the health food store and buy you a glycerin formula and taste it and look at the difference. I've been backing off of glycerin for years, because it just, most of the manufacturers, no offense to anybody, but most of the manufacturers out there are a little watery, if you know what I mean. And I'm about healing and health, so give it to me, baby. So, taste ours. I was so impressed. I couldn't tell you. I was so impressed. I'm not just telling you that. I was just so impressed. Because they got that 1 to 4. You know, this is the problem with trying to match our herbs as we do 1 to 4. A 1 to 4 is much more expensive to have made. 1 to 6, 1 to 7 is more traditional on the market. If you buy a good 1 to 5, I don't know about Gaia, I don't know about Steve or Smith with Herb Farm. If you don't do 1 to 5, they're not worth it to me. You got to have 1 to 5 or 1 to 4 if you want to have some therapeutic use of your formulas. You start getting it. You can't get any. You start getting like Mediherb when you get to 1 to 1, 1 to 2. You have to reconstitute and reshoot and blow dry and all kinds of things. It's like, no, that's not worth it. Then you're up to $50 or $40 for a little bitty 1 ounce thing, and it's like, then you start to take herbs way out, kind of like homeopathy. You start getting into the essence of things, and I dig that. Not against that, but I also like the power of the chemistry. I like the power of the plant, baby. Not the essence, the power of it and the essence of it. So good question, though, in that way. I also take adrenal, parasite M, thyroid, endocrine gland, and pituitary formulas long term. I wouldn't take the pituitary long term just because you really don't need to. Remember, there's the size of your pituitary gland right there. Interesting. So you want to be careful about hitting that gland too hard. You really don't need to, tell you the honest truth. The endocrine gland formula is hitting it already. I got Chase Tree in there, which is also a pituitary herb, of course, a big one. So I think you could come off of that one for sure. And at a certain point, you'll need to come off the thyroid too, because once you get the thyroid up, you don't need to play with that one anymore. And endocrine would be a perfect formula for a while for you. You know, save your money on some herbs here. Parasite M, same way. I mean, Parasite M, I would probably do for a month or so. Do you feel like you're not craving any starches? You know, you got control of the candida type stuff. And then come off for a month or so. When you dig deeper and you start getting up more fungal beds, you're going to start the craving again, then you go back on it. Now, those are things you can go on and off with, those sort of things. The ones you want to stay more in tune with are kidneys, adrenals. Lymphatic 1 is a more gentle lymphatic one. Endocrine gland formulas, that sort of thing, circulation, upper brain and nerve, those things can be done more long term and get a better benefit. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to take them, but spend your money like on the pituitary, shift that now and go to upper circulation, and you're now moving aggressive blood up, oxygenated blood up in the head area. So you're going to effectively enhance the pituitary through upper circulation. See? So now you can get up in there, you've enhanced the gland knows you're after it, so when you start moving more oxygenated blood up there, you're turning things on, but you're also creating a hydration effect and moving the lymph a little bit out of the head, so you're giving that reprieve a little bit. So I think that's what I would do. Shall I switch between capsules and liquid, or are capsules more powerful? I don't know which is more powerful. I like capsules because you have the whole plant there, but I've seen tinctures. I like tinctures too. I don't like swallowing capsules myself, but that's because I have a narrow esophagus. But some people can take a handful of those puppies. We use veggie caps, but that's starch, and I don't know. You know, there's always that phenomena as well. So I kind of favor the tinctures a little bit, but when I don't know, that's why I kind of ride both fences, to tell you the truth. I got capsules and I've got tinctures, and I like the capsules. You know, are going to be much more effective in the gut. So whenever you're after the gut, the GI tract, you definitely don't want tinctures. You want capsules if you can. But anything else you could tincture. But you can do liver capsules, pancreatic capsules. They're going to be more powerful than the tincture, in my opinion. Lastly, is lymph node 1 glycerin better than lymph node 2 alcohol? I can't say, Doug. I don't know. Let me know. Work with both of them and let me know. That's how we learn, is feedback from you guys. You know, that's all how I learned how these formulas, which work better for, and you know, which is that sort of thing. I got to have some feedback. It's impossible without some feedback, you know. Like when I first came out with the skin formula, I had a client, and I said, listen, I want you to just try this. It's a brand new formula. I haven't done anything with it yet. I want you to try it. So she came back a couple of weeks and she said, Jesus Christ, I love that formula. She said it made my skin crawl. I knew I was I said, good formula. So, I mean, that sort of thing, is what I'm looking for, is where you see a punch from what you're taking. But you're not going to feel a big punch, that sort of thing with kidneys and things like that. But we want to have effective formulas. So you're looking which herbs work together better. And so that's why so many different formulas. So many great herbs out there. You're trying to mix and match and trying to set up a good harmony with the flow and see if they'll get in and work together as herbs on you. So that sort of thing. Good questions, Doug. Good questions, man. I hope I answered them for you. If not, call in and ask them more. Rosella. Hi, Rosella. I love you. I love you too, honey. Thanks so much. Appreciate that, sweetheart. I do. Aloha. Whoa. You're Dr. Morse. I love you, your videos, and the information you have shared with the people of this world. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you too, honey. Listen, this is us coming together and helping a world that's in big time trouble, don't you think? I think so too. It might not realize how much of trouble it is because people are mind writing. They're unconscious. So we're learning how to simply teach people to become conscious. Don't ever be offended religiously or anything else when I talk like this, guys, because we have to wake up. And if your religious belief system isn't doing it for you, don't worry about it. Learn how to quit thinking. Don't even worry about changing what you believe in, following this. You don't have to follow anything. Be your own person or own individual or own whatever. You don't have to be a follower. You're unique. Each and every one of you are unique and beautiful. And accept that and realize that when someone comes up to meet you, they're meeting a unique individual because there's no one like you. And appreciate that fact. That's why I love each and every one of you. I love your differences. We got a world that hates differences. Isn't that crazy? And that's not, it is for good, but the negative side. Because all nature shows you is differences. Remember, not one, two things are the same, including snowflakes. All right, sweetheart, I love you too. Thank you so much. I have so much questions I'd like to ask. Here's the first question. How do I transition myself into a raw vegan diet? What is the best way to eliminate all the waste I have in my body? How do I detox? Wow. Sweetheart, that's all these videos are about that. And all I have to say is all you have to do is shift from eating dead, cooked, dried foods into living, breathing foods. But do one step a little better. Get rid of the vegetarian thinking and start thinking fruitarian. There's a big expo coming up in October. And I agreed to do it. And there's going to be a lot of different speakers. And it's all online. And I'm speaking I think it's only for an hour, I think. I don't know. That's hard for me to speak just for an hour. But I've got every Wednesday of October, I'll be online talking to you guys and answering questions and stuff. Fun. But the subject matter is, I think it's vegan. Not sure. I forgot what the subject matter is, but I want to move it from vegetable thinking to fruitarian thinking. So my first talk is going to be like veganism to fruitarianism to balance. And so we want to talk about that because you have to get your feet on the path of wellness. To do that, you have to move from fired foods, dead foods, agglomerated foods, acid-forming foods, into life-promoting and giving foods. Let Mother Nature cook them, not your mother or you cook them. Let Mother Nature cook them. So, your first move is into the raw food category. And that could pick up a salad at lunch, fruit always in the morning, fruit, berries, and melons, and perhaps fruit, berries, and melons at night. Or if that's too fast for you, then fruit in the morning and salad. But in a short order, if you're suffering, you have to get to the fruits, berries, and melons only. And that would be shifting away from the vegan lifestyles into the fruitarian lifestyles, which would match your Homo sapien body. Not to say you can't have a salad and you have your guacs and things like that. Who cares about that? If you're sitting there sucking on a piece of kale thinking that is going to detoxify and heal you, you're madly mistaken. Greatly mistaken. Never happened that way. You could get so far on raw vegetables, no question. I did. I was a natural hygienist. But fruit rules. Fruit, berries, and melons rule always. Vibrationally, chemically, and taste-wise. Be truthful with you. The taste of ripe fruit and berries and melons, where are you going to get better than that? Oh, I heard that guy over there say Barbie. Barbie. So, sweetheart, that's what all this. You're asking a mouthful right there. That's what this whole thing is about, sweetie. Transition into a raw vegan. You can jump into veganism because that ain't not going to bother you. But if you want to transition into fruitarianism, that would be, you could do that. And that's just for short term until you get into the body rebuild and clean and all that. And then if you want to come down off of that, well, then balance out a little bit. Bring in more of the green veggies. And if you want a salad occasion, okay. And that all is, then you'll have a good, healthy life for sure. For those that have to have dead animals, have a piece of fish once in a blue moon, okay. Put that on a salad or something, okay. Now, the second question, what do your daily meals consist of? Mine? Well, I've already said this many times. Thank you, sweetheart. My breakfast, it's still navel oranges, believe it or not. I'm eating South African navel oranges right now, but we still are producing navel oranges in California. So Walmart ran out of this one kind that they were huge and sweet. So now, let's see, Ocean Spray, they've got some navels, but they're a little tart. They claim they're sweet, but they're a little tart. So now I'm on South Africans, which is a little sweeter, but then I have to worry about the fact that they've been probably radiated. I mean, it's just, that sort of syndrome. But for lunch, since I have a lot going on, for lunch I'm always out to eat. I go out for lunch always, just because of the madness of things. And I try to always go to salad bars and stuff like that if it's possible. Once in a while I'll go to Cracker Barrel and have some cooked veggies, green beans and stuff like that, because I love green beans, cut some onions up in it, that sort of thing. And then at night I just piece on fruit and stuff like that. I might have a cookie or something once in a while, stuff like that. I'm not perfect. But if I want to get myself, and I want to put myself strict, I can do that too. If you say drop me a 40-day grape fast, I'll drop you a 40-day grape fast. But as I get older, things aren't as it was when I was younger, and I could just, do those sort of things. So many changes. Hi, Dr. Morse. First off, thanks for all the great info. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad you guys like it, because you guys are sure doing some great work out there with it. I just love the feedback I'm getting and what you guys are doing with this information and learning. It's just beautiful. And a lot of you are growing spiritually and opening up, and it's just beautiful because you get your life back. This is about getting your life back and being more conscious and more awake and aware. You can't beat that. It's not good to be unconscious and unaware where people are using you because they think they know more than you. And you never want to fall into anything like that. You want to be your own person, your own individual, no matter what that means. Academics does not dictate awareness. You must understand that. Academics do not dictate awareness. And some of these academic people make people feel like they're low rent, they're low class and everything else. That's their narcissism. Because what they don't realize is most of those guys are stuck in the middle worlds, and they're much harder to get out of. You're much harder to get out of the middle worlds. They're so fine. They're so subtle. It's hard to know between almost separation of individuality and the oneness of individuality. I mean, it's hard for me to explain that in just a real quick thing. But, the worlds of the mind, you're getting real subtle. Difference between thought and consciousness, remember I said yesterday, is a razor's edge. And it's difficult. And before you know it, you're working and you're trying to be in the now. Now you're watching to think, and pretty soon a thought just takes you right off again. It's like, oh man, get away. Funny how that is. My name is JJ from Vancouver. Here, Vancouver. I, like many others, have been dealing with side effects from an acne medication called Accutane. Oh my God. There's no question the pharmaceutical makers of this should pay everybody that's been on Accutane $1 million. Don't you think? I think everybody that has been on Accutane that's had the serious side effects deserves $1 million. And what are you going to do about the people that died because Accutane drove them out? What do you do with those people? You know, this is why we never want to play in these worlds of dreams that are so low. You know, there's not a herb on this planet that has that type of thing. You've got some toxic herbs, and those things are going to kill you or not. But we don't use those too much. And we do in tumor busting, the bloodroot, the poke root, and stuff like that. So you guys got to realize that bloodroot, poke root, these are toxic at high dosages. But in low dosages, they're tumor busters. So you just be smart about things. That's all it is. You're just being aware and smart about things. Another poor soul here. I was prescribed it as a 17-year-old to cure. Imagine them. Medical doctor lied to him right off. Mild acne, and I naively took it. Well, you didn't know, honey. And you trust these men in white coats, and that's what pisses me off the most. They set themselves up like they know everything, and they don't know jack doo-doo, and then they have the arrogance of all to claim the people like us that don't know what they're talking about. And yet they can't cure it, and we cure it all day long. Something wrong with this picture? Poor thing. 6 years later, so she's 6 years, of course, that all driving it in her. And some of the many side effects I'm suffering with include brain fog, fatigue, libido issues, vision issues, constipation, and allergies, food and environmental. A lot of other Accutane users are dealing with the same side effects they are. And some have told me, and especially the young man that terminated his life, told me that it felt like razor blades cutting him inside. What? A pharmaceutical company has the you-know-what to make something like that, and the FDA has the wherewithal to allow them to put it on the market? Can't you still get it, can't you? I mean, is there something wrong with what's going on here? We've become a very corrupt world, if you haven't noticed. And it's only the God people who's going to turn this around, no matter what you believe in. The God people are the God people. We understand who created things. Now, if the God people got together and realized there's one God, you can call it whatever you want, but there's one God for all of us. You can't claim there's one God, but you over there don't have it, and so who created you? Stupid. And that's how people act on this planet. There's only one God. You want to call it the Christian God, call it the Christian God. If you want to call it the Buddha God, you call it the Buddha God. You want to call it whatever, you call it whatever, right? Who cares what you call it? It is what it is. And once we get with that and realize we all come from the same source, then we quit hurting each other. A lot of others, I'm wondering if you could give us any specific advice on how to really conquer this drug. Well, there's only one way to conquer a drug like that, and that's get the residues out of your body. And there's only one way to do that. How do you get things that are in that you don't want out? Well, first of all, if you don't want them in, your body don't want them in either. That's why you never want to train your immune system to accept these type of chemicals, ever. So you really want to get your kidneys and if your body's holding it, what's your problem? Now, you mentioned something here I want to talk about, because I think what you're seeing here, because you have allergy problems, I think this just exacerbated what you already had, sweetheart. Can't blame the Accutane on that. Because you were taking it for lymphatic stagnation. That's exactly what acne is. Lymphatic stagnation subcutaneously, but your kidneys are already down. And at 17, that's what's going around. And 17 and below, and 17 up to 40. You guys are all got the kidneys, the adrenals, the lymphatics, the GI tracts. You guys got a lot of work on your bodies to get them, back. So the skin problems you saw already was that system down. I can tell you that right now. It's just that now, with that system down, you don't have the ability to get rid of the chemicals from Accutane because your blood doesn't get rid of it for you. Your lymphatic system does. So now, how do you get rid of those residues? You have to get your kidneys filtering, your skin sweating, even though it might not look good as you get at these acids coming out, but you got to get them out. Once you get them out, green and clean, nice and pretty all over again. And you need to do this. You're too long. Remember, these are acids blowing back on your cells inside of you. Brain, heart, lungs. Get them out. Get them out. Then I'd go upper circ, brain and nerve. Go after that nervous system of yours. Get the adrenals up, of course, and the kidneys, and get yourself filtering. Get your lymph system cleaned out, sweetheart, because the only way you can get rid of this. The brain fog and all this stuff doesn't lead to anything good. All this stuff that's like you're saying. So upper circ, brain and nerve, and then head off with the detox kits. Get into your kidneys, your adrenals, and get this out of you, honey. And at the same time, you'll resurrect the skin. Everything will be done. You'll be happy. Everything is good. All your glands will be into normal ranges. You'll fix the genetic weaknesses, and your life will be good. And I can tell you need to do this. And there's a ton of you guys out there suffering with this. You got to do the same things. We've cleaned up. A lot of you guys we've cleaned up. Go to rawfig.com and talk to them about this. These guys are really kicking butt, and you guys are doing great work on yourselves. But that's how you have to do it. What's in and you want it out, whether it's tumors, mucus, heavy metals, doesn't matter. Chemicals of any sort, one way. If they're not coming out, that means you're agglomerated. That means you're acidic and everything is stagnant. Your lymph system, your sewer system. So you got to go after that system, don't you think? Think about that. If you put something in, it's not coming out, and you know it needs to come out, or you create something in there like a tumor, and you know you need to get all that opened up, how do you do that? Well, the ultimate regenerative detoxification. There's no other. You're going to treat something like that? How are you going to treat Accutane? They would have to develop a chemical that neutralizes their chemicals. That would mean they would have to admit that they created a bad thing. And of course, pharmaceuticals, they don't care about killing people. And don't tell me I'm wrong, because you don't put out the pharmaceuticals you put out with the fatal events at the level that you have them, and say that you don't do that. A ton of drugs are killing people. And don't forget all these groups that are in these experimental groups of chemistry, particularly the experimental chemotherapy groups. Very few live. Matter of fact, most groups, they all die. Remember I told you about them. But look at all these other groups experimenting these chemistries and how many people are getting sick and maimed and hurt. You got to be nuts to try a pharmaceutical experiment like that. You got to be so hurting for money that you'll do anything. And that is sad. We shouldn't have that on our planet. Not with the wealth that we have on this planet. But everybody wants to go socialism where the wealth becomes the wealthier, and boom, 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 boom. And they never seem to share. I had Dr. Morse, I had pancreatic cancer and had a Whipple done. Now I have cancer on my liver. I started on fruits, melons, and berries. My question is, do I get it removed or stay on detox? How can you help me? Rock. All right, Rock. You've got to fix this, because if you don't fix this, Rock, you're going to have another one here, another tumor here, a lesion here, all on your lungs, on your heart. because it's systemic. This is your lymphatic system. You just walked across the street and the liver already was involved by the time the pancreas is. So you really only have one focus, or you could keep treating it. Pretty soon you're not going to have a life, of course. But get detox, hit it hard, baby, and get this body detoxed and cleaned. Not difficult to get rid of some liver. Look at Marcy got rid of a 13-centimeter tumor out of a guy's liver for him, or helped him do that. That's a big tumor. So, get it out. Get your kidneys. It's all kidneys and adrenals, remember? And the lymphatic system, the GI tract. Clean it all up. You need to hook to a counselor and hook up on our detox protocols. Or get on the detox protocols, whatever, but you want to hit it hard. You want to stop this. Stop this. No, because you see the systemic, you're popping a hot spot here, there'll be a hot spot over here and a hot spot over there. Even if you don't even touch chemo, touching chemo, you might as well just sit your butt on a frying pan and let yourself fry up. So, God. You want to clean your gut up, get your kidneys filtering, get yourself cleaned up, Rock. And there's no way. I mean, when you have a piece of a liver cut out, I mean, you can keep cutting pieces of the body out. I got some clients that come in here that have very few organs left. They keep cutting this and this and this. You got that one? Nope, that's gone. Got this one? Nope, that's gone. Get this right. Oh, yep, that's gone. Gallbladder? No, that's gone. Appendix? Notice those all go together. That's gone. It's just a never-ending story. You can only cut. Anybody want to stop and fix something once in a while? But if you don't know how to fix something, then you would not know to say that or think that. So you see how important what we know is for the public? Because they don't even know to ask that sometimes, especially if you're mind writer. The public are basically followers. So they're being led down the road. It's only the spiritual people that wake up out of that and go, oh, okay, that's the wrong road. I don't want to walk down that one anymore. And that's those souls that are getting their P's and Q's and everything ready, because in the next few lifetimes, pulling away from this drama into another field of action. You always want to live on this planet, and people fear death, and I find that amazing. You want to live on this rock like this and all the corruption, negativity for eons? Come on. Not when you know what you can experience. Think angelic. Think unlimited. Think ecstasy and joy? No. But if you want to stay on the rock, you will. It's that simple. Well, let's read one more. Pavel, is that correct? Pavel? Hey, Doc. Hey, Pavel. I want to thank you for being the amazing person you are. Oh, honey, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I really do. But I'm just here to like all of you guys, you know, we're all souls. We're all from the same source, and we're all becoming good friends, aren't we? I've listened to so many of your videos. All the information you have shared has resonated with me so deep. That Native American music, yeah, I love that. Yeah, we have it playing over next door a lot of times because I love Native American music. Now, there's a lot of videos out there with Native American drumming and flute and all kinds of stuff. Beautiful stuff, you know, just love it. Really etheric. I'm finally recovering after 8 months of constipation. Holy Lord. And barely being able to breathe. What? And having all the doctors tell me that it's all in my head. Oh, I love that one. Oh, you know, I love that one. I can't tell you how many clients that come in here suffering up a banshee, pain in different places, telling me that they've been, I said it's all in your head. If they don't see pain on say an MRI or even on an X-ray, oh my God. So, the next time you ask me about machines, think about this moment. Where's the consciousness? In the person. And it should be in the healer or practitioner, whether it's a medical practitioner, a naturopathic practitioner, a homeopathic practitioner, doesn't matter. If you got a shingle out there telling the world you know what you're talking about, you should know what you're talking about. Boy, that's bad. Boy, barely able to breathe. I'm on an all-fruit diet and some of your herbs. After 3 days of being on fruit, I can breathe. I have a long way to go, but I'm not even worried anymore. Thanks, Pavel. Yeah, see? Isn't that neat? Isn't it neat to be able to breathe? Yeah, thanks for that, sweetheart. I appreciate the thing on that one. But, you know, work on your kidneys, work on your adrenals. Remember, breathing is a neurological event. So you want to work on your nervous system, upper circumbrain and nerve, always when you suspect stuff up here. But you can work brain and nerve no matter what. And the adrenals, of course, you're increasing neurotransmitters. So 2 things are going after your nervous system and your ability to breathe. And that is, of course, increasing myelin sheath movement, which is neurotransmitters. And, of course, the health of that. Of course, calcium utilization is going to be very important in that. Remember that one. Then, you know, just getting the bowels cleaned up and all that, your lungs will come clean naturally. Or if you got a lot of congestion, clean those out as well. Get the sinuses and everything else, and you'll breathe and do well. And you won't be constipated eating living foods with energy and good nutrition to them. So it just suggests, though, sweetheart, that your adrenals are way down and that your nervous system's down, because the same nervous system affects your ability to breathe as it gives you peristalsis. That's the ability of the bowels to move stool. So my thinking is maybe you have a real low blood pressure or a real low adrenal function. You might want to look at that. You might want to work on that. You know, get your 400 milligram adrenal glandulars for a couple of months and then shift to adrenal hitchhike licorice root. Oh, the cops are all out here picking people up right and left. Ugh, the sheriff's got to go. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But congratulations, you're getting better and better and better. Keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Take a picture of your eyes, guys. Always go to the eyes and see what your eyes are telling you about yourself. Never forget that. I know some of you are probably scared to look, but you got to know. And you're not going to die from knowing, but at least you'll have a proper way. You'll know pretty much what you're up against, and there won't be any illusion about it. So, thank you all so much. I'll be back here tomorrow and trying to catch up. There's no catching up with you guys. You guys are way on down the road, so there's no catching up with me. I'm trying, but you guys are too good. Thanks so much, and remember to eat lots of fruits, berries, and melons, because now we have a book about eating fruits, berries, and melons. Love it. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. From the heart.